Here's something most people don't think about. They never apologize first. They would rather let a relationship quietly fall apart than say the words, "I was wrong." They walk into rooms like they have already won. They give advice, but cannot take it. They smile at criticism, but it lives in them for days. And the strange thing is, they are often the most insecure people in the room. They just found a way to make insecurity look like confidence. And the people closest to them feel the wall, even if they can never quite name what it is made of. So what is actually going on inside the mind of someone with too much pride? Because the answer might completely change the way you think about ego, shame, and the exhausting performance of never being wrong. Quick one. If you like content that breaks down real human behavior, follow for more. And if this hits, drop "seen" in the comments. Now let's get into it. Let's start with what most people get wrong. Most people think excessive pride is about arrogance, about someone who genuinely believes they are better than everyone else. But psychologist June Price Tangney found a critical distinction that changes everything. There are two types of pride. Authentic pride, which comes from genuine achievement and healthy self-worth, and hubristic pride, which is defensive, fragile, and rooted in a deep fear of being seen as inadequate. People with too much pride are almost always operating from the second type. It is not confidence. It is a fortress built around something they cannot let anyone see. Here are 4 patterns that consistently show up in the psychology of people with too much pride. The first is shame avoidance at all costs. At the root of excessive pride is an almost unbearable sensitivity to shame. Researcher Brené Brown found that people who struggle with shame often develop pride as a protective shield. If I am never wrong, I can never be humiliated. If I never admit weakness, no one can use it against me. The pride is not the problem. It is the solution to a problem that runs much deeper. And that problem has a name, and its name is shame. The second is the apology wall. They know when they are wrong, they feel it, but something between the feeling and the words breaks down completely. Psychologist Roy Baumeister found that people with high ego threat responses experience apologizing as a form of psychological annihilation. To say "I was wrong" feels like handing someone a weapon and pointing it at themselves. So they deflect, they minimize, they make it about something you did first. Because in their internal world, being wrong and being worthless feel exactly the same. The third is fragility dressed as strength. Their confidence looks solid, but it reacts. A small criticism lands like an attack. Feedback closes them down rather than opening them up. Disagreement becomes personal. Psychologist Robert Raskin found that people who display excessive pride are significantly more reactive to ego threat than people with genuine self-esteem. Real confidence can absorb challenge. Excessive pride cannot. Because real confidence is built on something solid. Excessive pride is built on something that constantly needs protecting. The fourth is loneliness behind the performance. People with too much pride often end up deeply alone, not because people do not want to be close to them, but because real intimacy requires the ability to be wrong, to be vulnerable, to be less than impressive sometimes. And that is the one thing they cannot afford. Psychologist John Gottman found that contempt and defensiveness, both hallmarks of excessive pride in relationships, are among the strongest predictors of emotional distance and disconnection. The performance keeps people at exactly the right distance, close enough to admire, too far to truly know. And maybe that is the most thought-provoking insight of all. Too much pride does not protect a person. It imprisons them. It keeps them from the apology that would have saved the relationship, from the vulnerability that would have deepened the connection, from the moment of saying, "I do not know," that would have finally made them feel like enough. The heaviest thing a proud person carries is not their ego. It is the version of themselves they are too afraid to let anyone see. Drop a comment below. Have you ever let pride cost you something you wish you had not? I read every single one. See you in the next one.